I thank you. If anybody wants to talk later or have a private consultation, you're more than welcome to have it later on after the lecture is completed. Okay, with that being said, I'd like to introduce a very talented brother. The brother who has the artwork displayed all over the room here, on the ground here. He's also a sculptor. He's a very, very talented individual. He's also the individual who did the cover, who illustrated the God Genes Decoded. He illustrated all of that. So I would like to introduce Sehu. Come to the stage. Thank you very much. And if anyone has any questions, please contact me after the lecture. Peace and blessings.
Let this brother get the microphone.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? As the brother introduced me, my name is Sehu. I am also known as Sehu, the divine feminist symbolist. Sehu, the unapologetic goddess worshiper. And also Sehu, the divine craftsman. My work, my life's purpose on this earth is to elevate the idea and the actualization of feminine divinity. All of my visual artwork is dedicated to a process that I have been intimately engaged in the process of studying for now the past 12, 13 years, which is this concept that I call feminine divinity. How many of you have ever heard of the term goddess? There should be a lot of hands and a lot of heads nodding, yes? How many of you understand fully what that means and why this is not a part of the mainstream culture that you are now operating in? Well, if I were to give you an idea of what some of that is, it is to say simply that the very essence of what makes us civilized has been co-opted. It has been taken from us, and we've been given something else in its place, which are a set of beliefs, ideas that have structured our politics, our economics, the way we see visual artwork, the way we hear music. And it has totally changed the nature and the face of how we interrelate with each other, not just as human beings, but how we interrelate with the environment. It may sound strange to you that a man is coming to you and saying that he is the unapologetic goddess worshiper. Most of my teachers in spiritual tradition, most of those that have been worth the salt, forgive me brothers, love y'all, have been women. The reason for this is because spirituality was given to us by women. The first relationship that we have to a divinity is our mother. And unfortunately, we have a situation where the mother goddess has been cut out of the whole process of our orientation of spirituality. Or it has been demunitized to such a small level that we don't get a chance to really see it or celebrate it. Before I really get too far into that, because I have limited time, I want to introduce a little bit more about myself and also about my relationship to Mr. Nuhiri Ogun. That's my brother, and that is my godson. That is my spiritual godson. And the relationship that we have with each other is an interesting one. For those of you who have read the book, you probably read the foreword. When I first met this young man, he's a little younger than me, I call him young man, I had an interesting dream about him not too long afterwards, wherein he and I were looking out of a very large window that appeared to be looking out upon the stars, the heavens, the universe. But not from an Earth's view. It was as if we were in outer space, looking out of a very big stone window. And we were looking at stars, and it was as if, because there wasn't much verbal dialogue, it was as if we were deciding the most auspicious moment for us to come back here to this earth. And I say come back because this is not the first time that we have been here. This is not the first time that you have been here. We are eternal, divine beings having a human experience with a little bit of the memory of ourselves obliterated about who and exactly it is that we are. Some of what has been obliterated from our memory is our womb memory, where we were in mother. You know, I love a lot of different kinds of music. Eric B. and Rakim, I know some of y'all are familiar with them, yeah? Rakim makes this statement in his song The Ghetto about him being queen with no physical form. How many of you ever remember that line? Yeah? No? Not big hip-hop, old school fans in here. What he was actually talking about is prenatal consciousness. Being aware of yourself in the womb. There is a memory that all of us have of being in this darkness that is our beginning, that is our origin. That moment that I stood at that window with my brother in this dream was such a moment in which we prepared to come here. Yes? All of us have that experience at the foundation of who we are. The book that he's written is a very special book in the sense that it points to an awakening, a time, a renaissance period is happening now. There is an awakening. People have been either totally ignoring this concept or idea of the goddess or simply paying lip service to it. My purpose, my life work is to restore this idea, this image, and actualize a place where the name of the goddess is remembered. I have fortunately my brother and many people who work with me in this process of seeing that that is something that actually takes place and that it happens. It is necessary that it happens. Our ecology requires that it happens now. All right, that's my soapbox. I had to give you a taste of who it is that I am as the unapologetic goddess worshiper. I want to tell you a little bit about what I do in this work. Myself and my partner, who helped me to co-found Goddess Herstory, do a work of teaching the ancient principles that are goddess-oriented. And they are universal across cultures. So if you got a problem with somebody else's culture, you know, it may behoove you to understand what it is when I say universal. Yeah? There's only one statement, one essence, one divinity. And that divinity that we all come from is a feminine one. The artwork that you see produced here is because I appeal to that side of myself. I'm not effeminate, I'm a father, but I understand the feminine essence of my nature, and I embrace it. It is what I was given. It's what you were given. It is your birthright. What enabled this brother to write the book that I saw him write within the relatively short period of time that he wrote it was just such an appeal. There are internal practices that are a part of what makes the creative energy that is at the essence and the core of your being come to the forefront. It is feminine. We have to begin to remember that it was women that gave us language, that gave us culture, that gave us agriculture. They don't call it the father tongue, they call it the mother tongue because mother teaches it. They don't call it father wit because it is the mother that teaches us how to have our wits about ourselves, our survivability. What we also teach in our process and what we work towards bringing to the not just women, but also men of goodwill towards women. That's important. Because there are a lot of men out there that can talk a good game. Y'all know sisters, right? I don't have to explain that to you. I'm not interested in talking a good game to you. I'm here to tell you the truth of the nature of yourself. I am here to live out a process that unfortunately my mother did not get a chance to get. She came up in a church organization where they didn't even pay lip service to women. They took the work of women, they took the money of women, and they enslaved them. They told them, now, you keep silence in the church, and if you'll learn anything, ask your husband at home. The very nature and the essence of speech, of prophecy, is feminine. Every major world religion that you know of has borrowed